guys, it's Destiny, and today we're going to be showcasing Rappa without Ruan Mei. This is to see how Rappa performs, and before we get into today's video, let me know which character that is upcoming, whether it's a rerun or a new character. For example, Rappa, Sunday, whatever it may be. Let me know who you are the most excited for from what is coming up. And if you guys do enjoy videos like these, do make sure to subscribe to win your next 50/50. Hit the like button to support the video, and now let's get straight into it. So for today's showcase, we are going to be using Rappa, Harmony Trailblazer, Pela, and then Lingsha. And honestly, let's just get straight into it. Our replacement for Ruan Mei for today will actually be Pela. And now we're just going to surf around. I just freaking love this. It's so freaking cool. And then all the graffiti like on the floor, and we're just going to bump into them and begin the fight. But I feel like that technique is just so much fun to use. What we're going to do though is we are going to use our skill with Harmony Trailblazer and then our ultimate right here. Just so once we break all enemies, we'll get those super breaks going to deal a bunch of damage. With Pela, we're going to use our skill. With Rappa, we're going to use our skill again. There we go. Well, bam. And now with Lingsha, we are also going to use our skill. But now I'm also going to use Pela's ultimate here just to get those defense drops on the enemies as well. So we're going to get hit by the drink, which I'm still so curious what that drink is. Like, I'm just curious. And oh, we get double Fugue in action. Wha-bam! There we go. We had double Fugue in action. I love it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to use a basic attack. And now with HMC, we can actually break right here. There we go. And what we could do now is use Rappa's ultimate. And I absolutely love this ultimate. It's just so freaking cool. Let's see just how many breaks are going to be on the screen here. And what, bam! Almost 1,000,000 damage. Holy moly. Okay, there we go. And now we can just use it once again and boom! There we go. And now we're into the next wave. I'm going to be using HMC's ult, and then I'm also going to use Pela's ult right here. So there we go. Just get those defense drops once again on the enemy just so we can deal even more damage. With Pela, I can literally just basic attack right here. Now with Rappa, we are going to be attacking like so. With Lingsha, I am going to use her skill. And then we can also take advantage of her ultimate, which will be a skill, then ultimate, then follow-up combo, and well, bam! And we actually have our ultimate once again with Rappa, so we're just going to take advantage of that. So there we go. And now we're just going to hit them, and boom! Okay, now they're already at 37% health, which is pretty good. And what we could do with HMC is, let's see. I'm thinking if we should either basic attack or just skill, but you know what? I'll just do the skill. It's perfectly fine. There we go. And now we do have HMC's ult again, which is really good. And now we should be on the next wave. Yep. Okay. The next HP bar, I mean. So what we're going to do is use HMC's ult once again to advance everyone forward just by even a little bit. And I just love how we have all these like stars around HMC. Is this normal? Are there supposed to be this many stars happening at once? Because HMC looks like an absolute star right now. We're gonna do our ultimate. Just absolutely love this ultimate too. It's just so cute. And now what we can do is we could just basic once again. We can use Pela's ultimate, get the defense drop on them once again. And we are going to get hit in the face, but it's perfectly fine. Okay, who are you going to put to sleep? Oh, Pela. Okay, that doesn't really, I think, matter too much. Yeah, it doesn't matter. His Fugue is going to get advanced forward with Lingsha's skill here, so we're just going to save Pela anyway. Now what we can do is we could just use our skill with HMC. There we go. Boom! And the drink is going to get poured on us once again. I just want to know what is in that drink. What even is the drink? Oh, we can actually use another ultimate here, just back to back. So let's just do that. There we go. Boom. And they're literally almost dead. Okay, so now with Pela, we can just basic attack Mr. or Mrs. Drink. There we go. And now with Lingsha, we can use our skill right here. Boom. And then that comes down. And now with HMC, we can basic. And now Rappa will do the honors of just completely destroying them. Let's just do it in normal speed. And we go 1, 2, and then... well, bam! There we go. We were able to clear that in a 1 cycle, which I think is pretty good, honestly. And those puppets had no clue what was coming to them. Now, the Hule side, this would be a little scary. Do you guys want to see me potentially use Rappa against Hule? I might actually try it out and see what happens. I'm either gonna get my butt kicked or maybe I'll actually win, but we'll just have to wait and see. But anyway, let's get into the builds of today's video and just explain why the team is able to do what it does. So here we are in the build section, and just as a quick note, I wanted to only use 4-star light cones for this run. So Rappa is holding after the Harmony fall. Here's Harmony Trailblazer, and they are holding Dance Dance Dance. Pela is holding before the tutorial mission begins, which is a free-to-play light cone. And lastly, Lingsha is holding Shared Feeling, which I'll explain why all of these characters are holding what they're holding. But to begin with Rappa, she has quite a lot of speed as well as break effect. These are 2 of her most important stats you want to take advantage of. So I highly recommend investing into her break effect and speed as much as you can through either light cone options or build options. I know there's not too many light cones, unfortunately, that have break effect, as majority of our other Erudition characters are more crit based rather than break effect, of course. So I did notice though that her light cone banner, if I'm not mistaken, will actually have after the Harmony fall. So even if you did decide, let's just say you want to go for her signature, even if hypothetically you only did like maybe 110 pull and you ended up getting after the Harmony fall, this is a really nice option you can use on her. Or if you just randomly end up getting it or have gotten it in the past, it will be able to increase the wearer's break effect, and also after they use their ultimate, it'll increase their speed, which is 2 things that Rappa definitely values: speed and break effect. Another thing to note is that for Withered Leaf, you will want about 3200 attack to take full advantage of this trace here. This trace will allow the break damage they take to increase. It starts at 2% and it can go up to 10%, which if you want to get to 10%, it mentions that if Rappa's current attack is higher than 2400, for every 100 excess attack, additionally increases value by 1% up to 8%, which results in break damage taken by 10% total, and you will need 3200 attack to be able to fully take advantage of this. As you guys can see, Rappa is basically right there at 3202, so 2 above what is necessary to maximize that trace. And then for her traces, they are maxed out. For her relics, we are using the Forge and Iron set. For the Forge set in particular, if the enemy is not fire weak, I would recommend opting for the Talia set instead, as that will be a consistent break effect increase. The Forge set is really nice for the speed as well as the break effect it can provide, but the thing is the enemy does have to be weak to fire in order for you to actually be able to take advantage of this. So that's something that you do need to keep in mind, is that if they are not fire weak, then you will want to 100% go for Talia. As for the Iron set, the reason this is really good is that it'll just increase the break damage that a character will be able to deal, as you will be able to ignore enemy target defenses if your break effect is above a certain threshold, which you will want 250% break effect on whatever character uses this set. As for her relics, here they are. We'll just go through them real quick. And then for her Eidolons, I have not activated any of these. This is a completely E0 Rappa. Technically E0 S0, since we are also using after the Harmony fall and not her signature. But if you do end up going for her signature, it is of course a very, very nice option on her. Now, as for HMC, HMC is of course one of our free-to-play characters, but also a very, very powerful option to use alongside Rappa because of the fact that they will be able to enable more super break damage with their ultimate. So this is a really nice thing to have on a team with Rappa, just being able to deal so much freaking break damage and super break damage in general. And HMC is definitely one of Rappa's best partners and is also free. So I definitely recommend, if you are building a break team, always to invest into Harmony Trailblazer, as they are a staple for those types of teams when it comes to, for example, Rappa herself, but also Firefly. As for HMC stats though, here they are. For their light cone, they are using Dance Dance Dance. The reason I wanted to use Dance 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 is just so we can advance forward the team in order to either get our debuffs going before the enemies get to attack, which in the case of using, let's say, Lingsha's ultimate and then her follow-up happens, that'll deal a lot of toughness reduction, at least when we were fighting the puppets, for the left side and the right side's puppet. So if Rappa was still in her ultimate, she could potentially end up breaking them right away on that second phase. When the puppets do enter their second health bar. If I do have the ultimate active for Harmony Trailblazer and I trigger Dance Dance Dance, there is a really good potential of my team being able to attack before the puppets are actually able to attack us, which once again, we could potentially end up breaking them, or at least breaking maybe the left and the right side before they actually get to hit us. Ultimately, the goal with Dance 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 is just to be able to inflict the debuffs onto the enemies at a faster rate, so that once Rappa does use her ultimate, then of course we already have that defense drop from Pela on the enemy. We might also have Befog on the enemy, whatever it may be. Dance 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 in general is just a really nice icon, especially if you are trying to go for potential low cycle clears, as advancing the team forward can allow you to attack once again before that cycle ends. As for the traces, they are maxed out. As for the relics, we are using Watchmaker and Sprightly Von Whack. Sprightly Von Whack is mainly used here just so we're able to attack first with Harmony Trailblazer. Since Harmony Trailblazer is actually slower than Rappa and Lingsha, I wanted to make sure that Harmony Trailblazer would be able to go first, just so we're able to use their ultimate right away. So once enemies are broken, we'll immediately be able to take advantage of those super breaks from Harmony Trailblazer's ultimate. Another thing to note is that since once again we are using Dance 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 to advance forward the team, because of the fact that Harmony Trailblazer will be able to get their ultimate immediately into the fight after using one skill, this is actually really good, since then we can use Dance 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 and advance everyone forward, especially because Harmony Trailblazer will be moving first from this team we have here. As for Watchmaker, this is just primarily so we can get even more break effect on the team, and since we are using the ultimate pretty frequently, we will be able to replenish this additional break effect very frequently, which is really nice just for being able to have another 30% break effect. And then if we go through the relics real quick, as for Harmony Trailblazers or Eidolons, they are E6. And now if we take a look at Pela, here are her stats. Pela is using before the tutorial mission begins, and the reason we're using this is just so Pela gets additional effect hit rate, and also she'll be able to regenerate 8 energy whenever she attacks an enemy that has their defense reduced, which because of the fact that we are using her ultimate pretty frequently, we will be able to get that additional energy, which now works towards the next ultimate we will be using. And to combo with this, if we take a quick look at the relics, we are actually using the Eagle set on Pela just so she is advanced forward after using her ultimate, which allows us to actually get additional skill point regeneration. And what I mean by this is if Pela does get advanced forward, I can actually opt for using a basic attack, for example. And it's really good for being able to give additional skill points for Lingsha, Harmony Trailblazer, or even Rappa in the case if she's out of her ultimate and I want to use her skill. Pela will be able to assist with the skill point regeneration, especially because she will be going a bit more frequently because of the Eagle set being equipped. I am also using Sprightly Von Whack on her, just so when we begin the fight, she is able to attack practically immediately, so we are able to get more energy to be able to use her ultimate, because I do want to inflict the defense drop as soon as possible onto the enemy, so then Rappa is able to just deal a crap ton of damage. And that's why Pela in particular is just a really nice 4-star option for a lot of teams. She can make for really nice alternatives depending on what the team is, and because of the fact that Pela's defense drop is fully AoE, this can synergize nicely with AoE damage dealers, for example Rappa in this case, since all enemies have their defense dropped and Rappa attacks all enemies with the last hit of her enhanced basic attack. This just works out pretty nicely. And then if we just look through the relics real quick, for her traces, they are also maxed out, and for her Eidolons, she is also E6. Lastly, we have Lingsha, and here are her stats. On Lingsha, I am actually holding Shared Feeling, and the reason I'm holding Shared Feeling is because of the fact that we will be able to get 4 additional energy whenever we use our skill, which Lingsha was actually using her skill pretty frequently, at least in the showcase I just did, which the 4 extra energy helped Pela out in the beginning of the showcase, as it was able to allow her to get her ultimate, which then allowed us to actually use her ultimate pretty early on, which allowed us to also take advantage of the Eagle set. Plus, any extra energy is nice case, just so let's say Harmony Trailblazer gets closer to their ultimate or Rappa gets closer to her ultimate, whatever it may be, the extra energy is pretty nice. For the traces, they are maxed out. For the relics, we are using the same thing as Rappa, which is the Forge set and the Iron set. Same game plan as before, because the enemy is fire weak, we get more break effects, and of course we also increase the wearer's speed, which is pretty nice as well. For the Iron set, same thing as before, we want to be at 250 or above, which my Lingsha is actually holding break rope. I really did want her to be able to deal a decent amount of break damage when enemies were broken, so that's why we're running these two sets on her right here. Just a more offensive build, of course, which is a pretty nice build on her overall. And then if we just go through the relics real quick, the relics aren't anything too crazy. There is, of course, some substats that are probably like, don't really need these at all, but it's perfectly fine. If we look at the Eidolons, she does not have any of them active. And overall, this team is a pretty fun team. I had fun experimenting with it, just seeing how this team would perform against the first side of MOC without Ruan Mei. And once again, if you guys do want me to showcase Rappa against Hule, I can try that out as well. That team would likely have Ruan Mei on it, not too sure. I would have to experiment with that, but do let me know in the comments down below if you would want to see something like that, just to see how she performs. And lastly, I hope you all did enjoy this video, and if you did, do make sure to subscribe, leave a like to support the video, and I hope you all have a great one like always. Peace.